So I'm back in the workshop here, and what you can see on the shelves behind me are replicas that we make at Pottery History of Neolithic and Bronze-Age and Anglo-Saxon and Jomon pots. Ancient pottery fired in open fires. And if you've made a small piece, a replica of one of these ancient pots, possibly at our workshops that we've run somewhere, or you've had a go at home based on one of the videos that we've already put up on how to make your own Neolithic, Bronze Age, whatever pot, you might want to try and fire it so as it has the authentic sort of feel of ancient pottery. And you can do that. You can do that in a barbecue. First thing you have to do when you get your pot home, when you've made it, you need to put it to dry, and it needs to dry for 2 or 3 weeks. It really needs to be thoroughly dry. Put it in a nice warm place, not somewhere it's going to get damp. It wants to be thoroughly dry. The next thing you need to know is firing pots is dangerous. So if you're going to do this, you need to be sure, firstly, you have to have an adult. No, children, do not try and fire pots yourselves without the help of an adult. Secondly, you'd be best to have some gloves, something fireproof. Oven gloves from the kitchen will do the job, or barbecue gloves, they'll do the job. And preferably something to protect your eyes, so protective glasses. Make sure you are safe when you do this, and if you're in any doubt at all, don't do it. Another thing you have to be sure of is that the pots have been made from a clay that will survive firing in open fire. Now, if I've said to you, you can take this home and you can fire it in a barbecue, it will be made from a clay that will survive that sort of treatment. But it needs to be a coarse clay. Fine, nice modelling clays and things won't do the job. They're just too dense. When you try and heat them up in a barbecue or something like that, they will simply explode. Not with a big bang, but they will blow themselves apart. That's because the moisture that's still in the clay, and there's always a bit of moisture still in that clay, will not be able to escape very easily. It's the coarse clays that will do that job. And if you've watched our video on YouTube about making your own little Neolithic or Bronze Age pot, you'll know that putting a bit of organic material in there is not a bad idea either. A bit of sawdust, a bit of very fine wood shavings, very fine grass clippings, something like that will help to make that clay more usable as an ancient clay that will fire in an open fire. So, before you light up your barbecue outside, take the pots that you've made, put them into the oven in the kitchen, turn the oven on to about 100 degrees centigrade and let it warm up with the pots already in it. Don't heat the oven up first and put the pots in then. Put the pots in from when it's cold. Turn your oven on to about 100 degrees and let the oven warm up with the pots inside it. And leave them there while you're having your barbecue. Once you've finished eating, you take your plates back into the kitchen. Turn the oven up. Turn it up to 200 degrees. Let the pots heat up another 100 degrees. Get them up to nice and hot, 200 degrees in that oven. Pop back outside, add a bit more fuel to your barbecue, get that burning nicely, and prepare the fire ready for the pots. You can add wood to it if you want. So if you want to be really traditional and be like a proper Neolithic potter, get some bits of wood, put some wood on there, get that burning as well. Once that's burned down a little bit and you've got a nice bed of coals, a nice bed of charcoal, etc., back in the kitchen, oven gloves on, get those pots outside as quickly as you possibly can. Try not to let them get chilled on the way. On top of the fire, and then add more fuel over the top of those pots. So what should now happen is the fuel should start slowly to ignite around the pots. The pots will heat up nicely, the fuel will start to burn, and as it starts to burn, it should start to heat up the pots. And what you're aiming to do is you're aiming to get those pots red hot if you can. Most Neolithic Bronze Age pottery was fired in the region of around about 800 degrees centigrade, and that's the sort of heat you will get when you can see a pot glowing red. Now, in bright daylight, you probably will never see the pots glow. At night, or in dull weather, if you're lucky, you will see those pots glow. And if you do, you know that you're winning. You're getting up to the right sort of temperature. Once you think your pots are hot enough, just walk away. Walk away, let the fire burn out. Don't leave it so as it sets fire to anything. Walk away, leave it for a while, have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee, sit around, have a chat, let the fire burn down, and let the pots cool down. And not until they are cool enough for you to pull out of the fire, pick up and hold, and that's going to be quite some time, should you even touch them. Just let them cool down by themselves. And if you're lucky, what you will have is a authentically fired replica prehistoric pot. And if you're unlucky and one of them's gone pop, you will have an archaeological conservation project that might require a tube of glue. But either way, you will get something that corresponds with the sort of thing that archaeologists dig out of the ground at prehistoric sites. Good luck with it.